You've probably heard that AI is coming for your job. Well, there's no shortage of predictions about which jobs are going to disappear. But what rarely gets explained is how a company actually makes that decision. And that matters, because your company doesn't need AI to do your entire job before it decides that it needs fewer people like you. Most professionals keep asking, can AI actually do what I do? But inside companies, the question is usually different. Once AI can do part of this work, how many people do we still need to do the rest? Because jobs don't always disappear when a machine takes over from beginning to end. Sometimes one person, using better technology, can absorb work that used to be spread across several roles. A vacancy isn't filled, 2 positions are combined, and the remaining work is handed to someone else. And the job disappears, even though AI never learned how to actually do it. So if you want to understand whether your role is actually exposed, don't start with your title. You need to break down the work and ask 3 questions. How repeatable is it? How easy is it to check whether the output is correct? And what happens if the answer is wrong? Work that's repeatable, easy to verify, and relatively low risk is much easier to automate or consolidate. Work that depends on judgment, trust, negotiation, context, and real accountability is harder to remove. That doesn't mean every professional job is disappearing, but it does mean experience alone won't protect you if the part of the experience that the company pays for can now be produced differently. I'm Tomas Schmidt, and I've spent more than 3 decades inside organizations as an executive. And what I learned from the inside is what I share on this channel. And if that's useful to you, subscribe. How the decision actually gets made. Most people picture AI replacement as a direct swap. The company has an employee, AI learns the employee's job, and the employee is removed. And that may happen in some cases, but the more common path is usually far less dramatic. Leadership sees that the same amount of work can now be completed with fewer hours or fewer people. And that leads to a different set of questions. What can we automate? What can we combine? Which vacancy no longer needs to be filled? Can one person now handle the work that previously required 2? And that's how AI becomes a headcount decision. I'm seeing this directly right now. Some of the organizations I work with are asking these exact questions. Not which employee can AI replace, but how much of this work can AI absorb? And how many people do we still need once it does? The conversation is rarely about eliminating a specific person. It's about whether a role still needs to be backfilled at all, or whether the work can be absorbed by fewer people. The technology doesn't have to be perfect. It only has to remove enough of the work for the company to redesign how that work actually gets done. And the decision usually comes down to the same 3 questions. How much of this work follows a predictable pattern? How easy can the result be checked, and how serious are the consequences if it all goes wrong? High volume work that follows a recognizable pattern and can be checked quickly is easier to automate. Work that's ambiguous, politically sensitive, or expensive if it goes wrong usually requires more human involvement. And that's why your job title doesn't tell you very much about your exposure. 2 people can have exactly the same title and face completely different levels of risk. One may spend most of their time collecting information, producing reports, and coordinating routine activities. The other may use the information to make decisions, resolve conflict, and take responsibility for what happens next. And AI may affect both roles, but it won't affect them in the same way. The job may disappear quietly. If AI changes your organization, you may never hear anyone actually say, "We replace this person with AI." What you're more likely to see is someone leave and not be replaced. A vacant role stays frozen, 2 teams are combined, administrative work is centralized, a manager is given more direct reports, or work that used to belong to a specialist is now distributed across several other people. Not a single system has taken over the entire job, but enough of the work has been removed or accelerated that the original role no longer appears to be necessary. This is one reason that the change can be very difficult to see. People wait for some kind of dramatic announcement. Meanwhile, the organization is quietly redesigning the entire workflow. Processes get standardized, approval layers get removed, and people are expected to use new tools before anyone explains what those tools may eventually mean for staffing. None of those things by themselves proves that the job is about to disappear. But together, they can show that the company is testing whether the work can be performed with fewer people. And if you wait until AI can do every part of your job, well, you're probably recognizing the risk far too late. What makes work vulnerable? And What doesn't? The work most exposed to AI isn't necessarily unimportant, and it isn't always low-skilled work. It's work where what you're paid for is the output, and that output is something that technology can now produce faster and cheaper. A first draft, a summary, a standard analysis, a routine presentation, a set of recommendations based on familiar information. Those outputs may have taken years of experience to produce well, but if the result can now be generated quickly and checked by someone else, well, the economics of the work have changed. The more durable part of a role is usually found somewhere else. Recognizing when the information is wrong, understanding what's missing, seeing a consequence that isn't obvious in the data, persuading people with competing interests, handling an exception the process wasn't designed for, or making a decision when no option is completely safe. AI can produce the analysis, but someone still has to decide whether to trust it. Someone still has to explain the trade-offs, and someone still has to own what happens if the decision goes wrong. So the safest work isn't work AI can't touch. Very little knowledge work will remain completely untouched. But the more durable work is where the human contribution, well, it remains connected to judgment and consequence. And the problem experienced professionals run into is this: that judgment is often invisible. They hand over a polished report, a recommendation, or a completed result. All the organization sees is the output, but it doesn't always see the judgment that produced it. And AI is making many of those outputs cheaper. So you need to make the part AI didn't provide more visible. Don't only present the answers. You need to explain what you noticed, explain which options you rejected and why, explain the risk you're recommending the company accept, and explain what you'll watch after the decision is made. So, for example, the tool gave us 3 possible approaches. I'm recommending this one because the other 2 create risks we won't be able to reverse quickly. Well, that makes your value much clearer than simply presenting the finished recommendations. What to do before your role changes? Well, you don't need to panic, and you don't need to become an AI expert overnight, but you do need to examine your job more honestly than most people do. Look at the work that you performed over the last 2 weeks. Not your job description, but the work that you actually did. Then separate it into 3 categories. 1, work AI can already produce. 2, work AI can assist with, but a person still needs to verify. And 3, work that requires someone to make the decision and own the consequence. Pay attention to where most of your time is going, but pay even more attention to where the organization believes your value is coming from. And if most of your visible contribution sits in the first 2 categories, don't spend your energy trying to protect those tasks. Use the technology yourself. Let it reduce the routine work. Then use the time you recover to move closer to the 3rd category. Take ownership of a decision. Solve an exception. Strengthen a customer relationship. Frame a problem others haven't recognized. Or take responsibility for an outcome that still requires human judgment, because there's a hidden risk in simply using AI to produce most of the same work. You may be able to demonstrate that the organization needs less time to produce the output, but you haven't necessarily demonstrated why it still needs more of you. The opportunity is to use AI to expand the value of your role and not merely accelerate the part that's becoming cheaper. There's also a conversation worth having with your manager. Not, is AI going to replace my job? Most managers either can't answer that or won't. Instead, you need to ask, well, which parts of our work do you expect technology to absorb over the next year? And where do you expect human judgment to become more important? That conversation is going to tell you far more about where the organization is heading. And it gives you time to move toward the work that the company is still going to need. The question you need to ask. No job is completely secure, and not every change created by AI is going to lead to job loss. Some roles are going to disappear. Some are going to become smaller. Some will absorb work that used to belong to someone else. And entirely new roles are going to emerge. But the question, can AI do my job? Well, it's far too large and too easy to answer with reassuring examples of what the technology still gets wrong. The better question is, which part of my job currently justifies this role? And how is AI changing the value of that work? That's the question companies are going to eventually answer, whether they explain the answer to you or not. The professionals in the strongest position won't be the ones who ignore AI, and they won't necessarily be the people who use it the fastest. They're going to be the people who understand what the technology can absorb and move their value towards the judgment, relationship, and consequences that the organization still needs a person to own. The goal isn't to become irreplaceable. No one is. Trust me on that. It's to make sure that as the work changes, the reason the organization needs you gets stronger and not smaller. Which part of your job do you think AI is most likely to absorb, and which part do you believe still needs a person? Let me know in the comments below, and if you want more practical guidance for navigating mid-career challenges, make sure you're subscribed. Until next time, take care, be kind to yourself, and keep leaning into what makes you strong. And I'll see you in the next one.